The Kansas City Chiefs dynasty is over. They are missing the playoffs, and this team is not capable of winning the Super Bowl is exactly what you all want me to say and what all of you want me to believe. I just pulled a Joe there, by the way, doing a pump fake to start off the episode, okay? But you guys are all so much smarter than that, okay? So much smarter than that. You know better than that. Don't do this to yourself. Despite the Kansas City Chiefs sitting at 5-5, we've seen this movie before, ladies and gentlemen, okay? It's not an identical movie. It's a sequel, okay? And what's this movie a sequel to? It's a sequel to the 2023 Chiefs, okay? Who weren't 5-5, but they were 9-6 at one point, going 3-5 in their last 8 games before that year, okay? And the entire narrative going into that year's playoffs, oh, the Chiefs can't win this year. The team's not good. Mahomes doesn't look the same. The AFC's too deep. The Chiefs can't do it without home field advantage. Blah, 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 okay? Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Fast forward to the playoffs after an 11-6 finish to that regular season. They smoked Sammy's Dolphins in the wild card game. They beat Josh Allen and the Bills in the divisional round. They beat Lamar Jackson, MVP, and the Ravens in the AFC Championship game. And they beat one of the most loaded rosters ever in the San Francisco 49ers in the Super Bowl. Now, I am not saying that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl this year, but I'm also not saying that they can't win the Super Bowl this year because they most certainly still can. This offense still ranks top 10 in football in both points and yards, and the defense still ranks top 10 in football in both points and yards. Now, the difference between this year's Chiefs and the previous teams has been close games, and that should concern Chiefs fans, and especially because Mahomes has had that late game magic normally at the end of games, and this defense normally gets timely stops, but we saw as Bo Nix converted that 3rd and 15 late in the game to kind of put the Broncos in field goal range that they couldn't do it there. So that does signal some form of concern for the Kansas City Chiefs, but they were also due for some regression in that one-score win department, considering they went 12-0, including the playoffs in one-score games last season. This year, they are 0-5, so we've seen them regress back to the mean in those one-score games. But ask the Bills, ask the Ravens. If it's one thing to beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the regular season, it's a whole nother beast to beat them in the playoffs. We see it year after year. Same narrative, same rationale behind picking against Kansas City, and Kansas City wins every single time. Granted, they're in a bad spot right now, okay? They need teams above them to lose if they want to get into the playoffs, and they've got some tough games on their schedule, and maybe if they lose to Indianapolis this upcoming week, I'll change my tune a little bit, but I'm just in a I'll believe it when I see it with the Kansas City Chiefs phase at this point, because I've seen them overcome too many things, too many different times for me to not place my entire belief in them as a threat to win the Super Bowl. And I'll put it to you like this, okay? Joe, you and I are New England Patriots fans, okay? As of today, we are sitting as the 2 seed in the AFC, okay? If that remains the same, say we go 13-4, we're the 2 seed in the AFC. And our reward for having the best season in a half decade is the Kansas City Chiefs, who sneak into the 7th seed of the playoffs, in the wild card round of the playoffs. How would you react? Because would you be like, oh, hell yeah, we got the Chiefs in the first round? Or would you be like me, put my head in my hands and be like, God damn it, after all this, we had this amazing season, and now we get the Kansas City Chiefs. That's exactly how I would react, because I do not want to see the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs, because this team has literally been to the AFC Championship game every single year with Patrick Mahomes as a starter. So for the Chiefs, I'll believe it when I see it, for them to be officially eliminated. Until then, that's Michael Myers, okay? Just when you think they're dead, they're going to kill you, okay? So no, the dynasty's not over. The Kansas City Chiefs are still going to be in the playoffs and are still a threat to win the Super Bowl. Fellas, what do you think? Are the Kansas City Chiefs done? Are they missing the playoffs? Is the dynasty over?
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous that Joe's just like, we'll be fine. Second year QB, right? You know, we're going to be just fine. The Kansas City Chiefs have made it to 8 straight AFC Championship games. But against them, I'm not worried whatsoever, because the team I didn't even believe in at the beginning of the year is now all of a sudden going to overcome the reigning AFC champs. I am sick to my stomach, but I actually have a very, very interesting opinion regarding the Kansas City Chiefs, because the Kansas City Chiefs have been fooling a lot of people. They've been fooling a lot of people. They have. The Kansas City Chiefs are the dreaded A word. They are average. They are average. They are. And they've been average for years. They've been average for years. I know what you guys are thinking. The Kansas City Chiefs are average? How in the world are they average? Are you out of your mind? So in 2022, when Tyreek Hill left, the offense was, yes, number 1 in the entire league, but the defense, average. Very, very average. Next year and the following year, 2 straight years, the offense, because of one, not a lot of weapons, and Travis Kelce being washed, backed up by Patrick Mahomes, underwhelming in the regular season, average offense, right? Average offense until the Super Bowl, and then they finally turn on the switch. It's been an average roster. And finally, after 7 years, the average roster has finally come back to bite them because the Broncos, ladies and gentlemen, and the Chargers, ladies and gentlemen, have better rosters. They do. They have better rosters. Now, with the Chargers, it's not that big of a gap, right? But with the Broncos, I mean, outside of the QB position, I think I would take every single position that the Broncos have. Pat's greatness and Andy's coaching was hiding the fact this entire time that this roster, this team has been average. The wide receiver room, average. The O-line, average. The defensive line, this year at least, average. The secondary, average. Don't let the stats fool you. Don't let the stats fool you. The stats might say, oh, they're top 10. Joe, you and I know better. You and I know better. We see what's going on over here. That defense has failed when it matters most. And that's the insane part. Now, granted, the defense has had games where they've shown up, against the Commanders. Wow. In my opinion, this team has been getting away with being average for so long, right? For so long because of greatness, backed by the greatest QB of all time, Patrick Mahomes, the second greatest head coach of all time, Andy Reid, and one of the greatest defensive coordinators we've ever seen in Steven Spagnuolo. Those three, the Holy Trinity, not quite Holy Trinity, the Holy Trinity of Kansas City, have been carrying this team to heights they've never seen. And they've been doing it with average rosters. I cannot believe it. Now, this year, I don't know what's going to happen, okay? They could very well win out, okay? They could. They could 1,000% win out. They might even win the division if they win out. Who knows? The Broncos offense hasn't exactly been impressive, okay? You never know. You never know. The Chargers are banged up. You never know. And they're going to make the playoffs. But I'm telling you, it's not going to be because this roster is out of this world. It's going to be because they have the boogeyman Patrick Mahomes. It's going to be because they have Andy Reid. And it's going to be because this team, time and time again, finds a way, in spite of their mediocrity, which I know very well what mediocrity looks like. In spite of it, they find a way to make it to the AFC Championship game. Don't know if this year is going to happen. As a matter of fact, I'll go as far as to say it's not going to happen. But, eventually teams catch up to you, Matt. Teams catch up to you, Joe. And I think right now we're seeing the talent from not just the AFC West, but throughout all the AFC catching up to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, and Sammy, to your point, I mean, every dog has its day. Every dynasty comes to an end. We saw it with our Patriots before, obviously, we started this new one that we just started this year. But our old dynasty, obviously died. We saw go into basketball. We saw the Warriors dynasty. We saw the Lakers dynasty die. We saw all the Bulls, obviously. We saw all those dynasties die eventually. I just don't think it's going to happen this year with the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, like I said, everything that you said today about the Kansas City Chiefs being average applied last year, and they made the Super Bowl. Yep. Everything you said about the Chiefs today applied in 2023, and they won the Super Bowl. So again, that's the reason why I'm not going to sit up here and say it's over, because every single time anyone's thought it was over, they continued to win when it really mattered the most. And again, the last week was concerning because I thought that game was super important. The Chiefs coming off a bye, Andy Reid never loses off a bye. The fact that they lost that game with that preparation shows, like you mentioned, the Broncos probably have a better overall roster than the Kansas City Chiefs. However, again, if those two teams meet in the playoffs, even if it's in Mile High, am I going to sit up here and say, yes, Bo Nix is beating Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs 100%? I guarantee it. No way. I'm not saying that. I just can't do it. I simply cannot.
I know someone who will.
I don't.
You fraud in the white sauce jersey. Go ahead, spit it out.
Oh, geez. Well, let's see if he does. Joe, in whatever jersey that he's wearing over there. Jeez, tell us, what do you think? Is the Chiefs dynasty over? Are they missing the playoffs? What's going on with the Chiefs?
So let me go ahead and just tell you the reasons why the Chiefs aren't making the AFC Championship game, why the Chiefs aren't making the playoffs this year. Last time they missed the playoffs was 2014. Alex Smith was the quarterback, and no wide receiver caught a touchdown that season. Just a little fun fact for you, right? All their passing touchdowns that year went to running backs, tight ends, and fullbacks. That is it. They have the 10th hardest remaining strength of schedule. They might finish with a losing record in the division for the first time since 2012. They're one of 2 teams with 5 wins and only 1 road win. Do you guys know how many teams have made the playoffs who had a losing road record?
473.
None. Not a single damn team has ever made the playoffs with a losing road record. They have 3 road games left. Dallas, Titans, and the Raiders. So they could go 4-12.
Those seem like pretty easy games, Joe. You were looking at them for that, man.
Yeah,
I know. I had to. I'm looking for reasons, man. I'm looking for reasons.
Looking
right?
for them?
Yeah, he is.
I'm looking
for
a
hater.
Searching.
I'm a hater. I'm a Chiefs hater. The funny thing is I'll talk shit about the Denver Broncos, and all the Broncos fans hop in the video and they're like, "Oh, what a Chiefs homer! He's on Mahomes' jock," and it's like, brother,
same here. Yeah.
I absolutely fucking hate this team.
I actually am on his job.
I hate the Kansas City Chiefs. The fact that Matt's like, if the Chiefs come in and the Patriots are the 2 seed, I hope to God we beat them. It would be the sweetest icing on the cake, and I am confident we would. Because you want to know why I can't go with any of this? Shut up, Matt. It's my turn to talk. You've had your time. Put yourself back on mute. It's my turn. Do you want to know why the Chiefs are going to make the playoffs? And it's because of something that Sammy said, and I go against. It will not be because of Patrick Mahomes. It will not be because of Andy Reid's offensive play calling. Their best opportunity to make the playoffs and be competitive in the playoffs is this defense. They are one of 5 teams to not allow 200 total points this year. One of 5. They have a top 5 scoring defense. I believe it is actually number 3. They are 7th in yards allowed. And although they're not coming up with those timely Chiefs plays we've seen them year in and year out, they're still a force to be reckoned with. In fact, they're one of a little other nugget here for you. They're one of only 2 teams with 5 wins and 1 road win that also has that with under allowing 200 points. You know who that is? The Houston Texans, who they play. So we're going to find out which one 5-5 teams. But to your point, all the tiebreaker, they don't own a tiebreaker against any team above them in the current playoff rankings right now. This is still very much up in the air, and this is probably the most vulnerable we've seen the Kansas City Chiefs in a hot minute. Everyone's like, "Oh, I don't understand." Like, there's an article on ESPN. It was like, "Oh, Andy Reid's got all this talent on this team." Really? You think that running back core is talented? That offensive line is good? Travis Kelce's aging. He's well past his prime. I think everyone knows that. And he's your only receiving threat that's going to go over 1,000 yards. This is not a talented Chiefs team. This is the remnants of what used to be a talented Chiefs team. And this team is probably going to go under a massive rebuild in the offseason. And I say rebuild loosely. They're still going to be competitive. You still have Patrick Mahomes, but you're going to need to really rethink this team. And I would not be surprised if some big names are on their way out if they fail to make the playoffs or if they're a first-round exit.
Yeah, I mean, if they obviously if they miss the playoffs, there's changes that need to be made because it's not like this team was dealing with super crazy injuries to start the year. Obviously, every team deals with their injuries. They had the Rashee Rice suspension the first 6 games of the season, but that would be no excuse for this Kansas City Chiefs team to miss the playoffs. Like, this team is still a playoff capable team. But to go back to when you told me to shut up, Joe, I'm not going to shut up. Okay, I shut up just because I was being nice. Okay,
you patiently waited.
I'm going to respond now. God. Yeah, well, no, I had something else to say after that. Make sure you get that in there, Taylor. But to your point about the Patriots, like if the Patriots win, obviously I'm going to come in here, I'm going to have my freaking chest out and say we're the new dynasty's back. The Patriots are back. However, okay, I've seen the movie, bro. I've seen the movie every single time. Every single time the movie ends with the Chiefs getting at least to the AFC Championship game. So again, I also do not like the Chiefs. I want to be very clear about that. I also want death and despair to the Chiefs. I will come in here and be the most happily wrong man on the entire planet if the Kansas City Chiefs miss the playoffs, if they don't make the AFC Championship, if they do nothing in the playoffs. I will be so happy that I'm wrong. However, I just don't think that I'm going to be wrong because the Kansas City Chiefs continue to prove everybody else wrong through the entire history of this dynasty.
This has been Between the Uprights. Football is life. The rest is just details.